Hello and welcome to Fable's Cosy ASMR. My name is Amy and today we are back in World of Warcraft. Now, in my last video I was levelling out here in Howling Fjord. We are just running through the zone now, as you can see. But we are not stopping here in today's video. We are actually going to pass through this northern section of the map and then we are going to head into Grizzly Hills. Now, Grizzly Hills is one of those zones that I frequently see come up as being people's absolute favourite zone in WoW. We will be seeing a lot more of it today. We're going to explore on foot to really soak up the atmosphere of the zone. What I'm realising in making these videos is that I haven't spent very much time in a lot of these zones. Howling Fjord felt fairly familiar to me. I think I've done quite a lot of the quests out here in the past. And I've also spent quite a lot of time in the Storm Peaks just because I find that area really impressive. Being a new character in WoW and getting a flying mount for the first time, being able to then soar around the Storm Peaks is just incredible. That is one of those gaming experiences that will really stay with me. But because of that, I seem to have skipped over quite a few of the zones in the middle of Northrend. There are some I think I've spent almost no time in at all, and despite its popularity, I think Grizzly Hills might be one of them. I don't remember very much of it. I think I've flown over plenty of times, and for some reason on this character I do have one of the story chapters completed, but I don't know why that is. But this is fairly unfamiliar territory for me, so I'm really looking forward to exploring. So we've made it over the mountains and we are officially in Grizzly Hills. This is very much my favourite sort of zone in an RPG. We have snow on the ground, we are definitely up in the mountains, we have the forests. That is a fantastic view right there, and I do think I am going to like this zone an awful lot. It has that wild northern feel that I'm always looking for in RPGs. So we've just discovered Ashwood Post. I don't really have a plan here. I'm not quite sure which way I'm going around the zone. I'm not going to be picking up any quests right now. This is absolutely just about exploring. There's that story progress. I don't know how I've managed to complete that. It really was not on this character, so I don't know why it's showing as complete. We are coming up to a fork in the road. Let's see where we can go. Solstice Village. Dun Argol. I have to say the right hand path looks more inviting, but I really want to have a look up here despite the signs warning me off. We have a traveller on the road and a solstice hunter. This is presumably why there were the warning signs, because the inhabitants up here are not very friendly. I'm going to keep the combat to a minimum in this video, but we will just have a look up here. That is Solstice Village uncovered. Lots more hunters down there, so we won't venture right into the village, but we have uncovered it, so we will continue on with our journey. Let's head back down the hill and onto that other path. Now, I have had a very busy week, so this was exactly the sort of relaxed gameplay that I wanted for this video. It is a Sunday evening as I record this. Yesterday I was out and about. My partner and I actually headed out to a concert. We are big metal fans. We love music in general. There is the Horde encampment. We won't go in there. So yes, we love music in general, but metal is absolutely our favourite. So yesterday we went to see Opeth, and they were playing with Catatonia and Paradise Lost. It was a real classic lineup and we enjoyed it a great deal. The venue, which was the Peace Hall in Halifax, was fantastic. It was an outdoor venue. We had a fantastic summer's evening for the concert, and it was just a great experience. But it was a late night. I'm pretty tired now, so it's very nice to be relaxing by just casually exploring Grizzly Hills. Okay, we have just uncovered Heart's Blood Shrine, again full of enemies, so we won't head right into the middle. I do like the little hollowed out log cabins though, they're very inventive. The views here are fantastic. I'm really liking the scenery here. In terms of other MMOs, I think it is most reminding me of perhaps Drizzlewood Coast in Guild Wars 2. I believe Drizzlewood Coast was inspired by the Pacific Northwest, which is where ArenaNet are based. And I'm kind of getting the same feeling from Grizzly Hills. It also seems to be permanently night out here. I don't really remember that from previous explorations of Northrend. There's Dun Argol and the Path of Iron. Is that an encampment? I'm assuming it's dwarven with that name. There's a fantastic giant in the distance. Let's have a look up here. We have hostile sentries, and I am being attacked. Okay, so I think these are the Iron Dwarves. So I would have quite liked to have gone up to Dun Argol, but it's obviously a hostile area, so we will turn around and carry on down the road. When I get to doing the questing out here, I'm sure there will be quests that take me deeper into all of these areas. Again, I didn't realise there was such an expansive coastline in Grizzly Hills. I really don't think I've spent a lot of time here. It does look like there are some islands to explore. Now what is this up on the hill? If I can get up the hill, it is, well, nothing. I sort of expected that to have a name. We will continue on down the path of iron. I don't think we will head all the way down to the coast today. I was hoping more to stay on the roads. Maybe just a very little way. There we have discovered Eastwind Shore, which fills in a lot more of our map. But I'm not going to head all the way off the road today, I don't think. I very much like these golden trees dotted in amongst the pines. It is quite easy to imagine that it is autumn here in Grizzly Hills. And actually here in the UK right now it is only the beginning of August, but it is already starting to feel like autumn because we have had such a hot and dry summer. The trees are very stressed, and actually the birches particularly are already turning yellow and losing their leaves. I think it's going to be a very strange autumn. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of colour this year, simply because I think the trees are going to lose their leaves so early. I'm really looking forward to exploring that shoreline. I did see on the map that there are loads of quests down there, so I will pick those up at some point. I can also just see a structure on the hill ahead of me. We have another giant on the left, and there was a horse just coming into view there, and there's a second one. Oh, look at that. It is an absolute herd of horses. Oh, that is surprisingly beautiful. I know the graphics of WoW look quite rudimentary compared to really any modern game, but there are still just these moments of beauty and atmosphere that still grab me even now. We have Thor Moden up to the north. Seems to be tucked away in the trees. How I would like to really explore Grizzly Hills. This is one of those areas that makes me wish it was real and I could really go walking on these roads. I love the dwarven architecture. It's great to see more of that. Again, this looks to be hostile. There are lots more giants, possibly, some kind of construct, and they're fighting the dwarves, so we won't go in. There's another little path here. and some more architecture peeking through the trees. I do love the wild horses roaming around. I don't think I actually have a horse mount. I've never bought one. I've never actually played a human. I think I've said that before in videos. Wow, look at those steps. Now I think these actually lead up into zul'drak, but I'm really tempted to go up them anyway. They are so monumental. I think it's going to take me a surprisingly long time to run up here. We have just reached the top. I don't think I've ever explored zul'drak at all, and I really don't think I've ever done any quests there on any of my characters. I am sort of thinking at the moment that I might try and complete all the quests on Northrend. Because I can level here at the moment, there's not much of a need to rush to newer zones. And to be honest, I'm not too worried about the pace of levelling anyway. If I get stuck not getting very much experience, it doesn't really matter. I am thinking I would like to work my way through all the quests out here and enjoy the story, which is not something I've done on other characters because I've tended to just push through the levelling as quickly as possible. We have some undead ahead. We've reached some sort of mine. We're really close to some kind of alliance camp, but I haven't quite stumbled across it yet. I think the scale of some of these maps is deceptive. The distances look quite small on the map, and then when you're running across them on foot, it's a surprisingly long way. Okay, there is the Westfall Brigade encampment that I was looking for. I would really like to be unlocking the flight paths out here, but sadly that is something I have done already on another character, and they all remain unlocked, which is practical and it does speed up playing with a new character. But it is a bit of an aspect of exploration that I'm really missing. Right, let's head out of camp. We are going to be heading west from here. There's lots of map that I haven't uncovered yet. There is once again a real frontier feeling out here. That's back to Solstice Village. I don't think we want to go that way. We'll turn right. I like these giant moths. I wonder if they're tameable for the ranger. I do actually have one pet spot empty. I haven't tamed anything yet. I've so far got Spot, of course, who is following me all the time, and who now slinks along in invisibility everywhere I go. And I have a sort of antelope thing that I tamed in Amyrdrasil. The road goes right through a tree there, that's a nice touch. So I have one more pet to tame. To be honest, all the pets I have looked at and come across that I liked the look of turned out to be exotic, so I can't tame them on this character. I do have another ranger, also night elf, unsurprisingly, and I was working towards taming some exotic pets with that character, but I've actually out-leveled that one with Mistral. I've just enjoyed starting over so much, and to be honest, it makes going back and trying to pick up with my old characters not very appealing. I have my shaman, who was once upon a time much higher level and sort of got knocked back in one of the updates to the game. And it would be nice to go back to her, but I honestly don't know how easily I would pick up the class again. It is literally years since I last played with her. I feel like Grizzly Hills is a very cohesive zone. I suppose that maybe makes it a little bit repetitive. I mean, it really is just forest everywhere we go. But I also quite like that. It does mean that when you find a zone you really enjoy, there is more of it to soak up. I suppose that also means that if you're trying to level your way through a zone that you don't like very much, then it feels very slow and tedious. I don't actually know what Grizzlemore is. I thought I was going to be inside it, coming through that pass, but apparently not. I have reached Runa the Blind and her camp, but not Grizzlemore. That's perhaps off to the left there. Let's carry on down this road. This isn't quite the way I was planning to go originally, but I think it's going to lead us roughly to where I want to go. I am heading to, I think there's a lodge out here. That is sort of my end goal for this video. Then we will have seen quite a lot of what Grizzly Hills has to offer. We have lots of eagles wheeling past us. Once again, I have seen no players out here at all. It is very, very quiet. When you're just exploring like this though, that's actually quite nice. Amber Pine Lodge. Yes, Amber Pine Lodge is where I was heading for. We're actually nearly there. We will head downhill and try to avoid the bears. I really like the fact we can see all the snow clinging to the hills. It gives that real feeling that we are in the foothills here. And the trees covered in snow always look fantastic. I love that in any game. I suppose probably because we don't get a huge amount of snow here in the UK, so it's not something we are very used to seeing. I'm seeing lots of banners. I don't actually know if I'm on the right path to the lodge. It's possibly going to appear from the trees any moment, and in fact, I think there it is. So, we have reached our destination, I suppose you could say, and aptly enough, I have just reached a level 25. Perfect timing. So that is where I am going to leave you today. Thank you for joining me on this very relaxed exploration of Grizzly Hills. I would love it if you shared your memories of this zone or Northrend in general. But that's as far as we are going today. So please enjoy the fantastic view from Amberpine Lodge, and I will see you next time.